battery.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. As you guys can see, we have a new toy on the channel. Now we have a GoPro to do some POV driving. Honestly, this is my first GoPro. I'm still working with the settings a little bit, so if you guys see something off, please mention it down in the comments below. I'm still trying to work everything out. Today I'm going to be doing an oil change on the M2, so yeah, let's go ahead and get that done. By the way, I am recording this video on December 28th. I was just looking at the statistics on the previous video, and I noticed that a lot of you guys are enjoying that video. Thank you guys for the support in that video. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, and doing everything. That definitely helps the channel out a lot, and it definitely motivates me to do more content as well. So like I always say in the videos, and like I always mention it, if you guys enjoy the videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. That way I can keep doing more videos. Had to stop by the boys' house real quick.
Low battery.
It's technically on the way, so why not? Might as well. Now we're gonna go do an oil change. Just got to my boy's house. Gonna move everything around and start doing the oil change real quick, and then we might go for a drive with the M2 and that little white car over there, so stay tuned. Start off, we're just gonna take the shit off. Just take the oil cap off real quick. Oh, some vacuum, nice. Oh yeah, it's dirty. Gonna put this right here. Good tip or trick, whatever you want to call it. Put your oil cap right where your hood latch is, or your hood hinges. I don't know what this shit is called. Hood locks, whatever it's called. Put it there. That way, whenever you close the hood, if you haven't put in the oil cap back in yet, whenever you close the hood, obviously it's not gonna close because it's in the way. So that's a good tip. So now that we have the car jacked up, it's time to take off the oil filter. That way all that oil drains down to the oil pan, and then after that we're going to take off the drain plug. So let's get right at that. Obviously we can't forget the gloves beforehand. We don't want to get our hands dirty with oil, so might as well use gloves. If you have them, might as well use them, huh? You can just hear that oil draining down. So we're gonna take that off. We're gonna leave that here. Just let it drain there. We're gonna come back to that once we've drained all the oil out of the engine. So let's get to that. So whenever you have your oil pan ready, you get underneath the car and we'll show you guys what to do down there. I'm not sure how well you guys are gonna see this, but this right here is the drain plug. This is where you're gonna take off. Let's see. So it's in fact a 17. So with a 17 millimeter, just take that off. If you have one of these old drain pans, make sure you take off the vent cap as well as a little cap for the oil thing, because if not, you're gonna make a mess. So break that loose. Once it's loose, just start taking it off by hand. Slowly, surely you're gonna get there. Put some pressure on it. That way there's not that much oil coming out. Start backing it out. You're gonna feel to a point where it's almost out. So once it's there, so just take it out immediately, and there you go. That's how you start an oil change. Let's just let it drain out there. Now, very important, whenever you're changing your oil, don't forget to swap out the O-ring washer or the crush washer right here, the brass crush washer, because if you don't replace it, you might have oil leaking from your drain pan, and you do not want that. Trust me, I've been there before. It's not fun. Or better yet, ask me how I know. So as you can see, the oil from the oil filter is almost completely drained, so I'm just gonna leave that there for a bit. Go back underneath the car real quick to take a look at it, see what's going on down here. It's still draining a little bit, so we're just gonna leave that be. Usually whenever you buy a kit like this, I bought this off of SCP Euro, you get the oil filter as well. Most of the time the crush washer is in here, as well as the little O-ring for the oil filter. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So as you guys can see right here, this has 3 O-rings, or actually has 2 O-rings. A big one, a small green one, and it has a crush washer right here as well. And this is what you're gonna use on your drain bolt. So like my boy Chris Vic says, out with the old, dirty, and crushed up crush washer, in with the new. So we're gonna grab the oil filter. Make sure there's not that much oil in it. Just put it in a paper towel like this. That way we can swap out the oil filter. Just grab the oil, the old one, the new one, on my bad. Take the old one off. This might have a little bit of resistance, so just be aware. Now we're gonna grab a little pick, just like the little O-rings off, which is this green one right here, and a black one that's on the outside. You can't really tell, but I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. So this little green one, you just grab a little pick, and just take it off like that. Perfect. Old one is off, put that in there. And the big one, same thing, just little pick, just take it off like that. And just throw that in there as well. Now we're gonna grab our new ones, which are in here. Big one, and the small one, which of course fell. Put the big one in here like this. Just stretch it on there, it's fine. This is what it's supposed to do. Make sure it's in that little groove right there. Once it's in that groove, just grab the small one as well. Same thing, put it on there and kind of stretch it on there. Like that. Both on there, make sure this is on there, because this sometimes falls off and that may cause issues with your car, because if I'm not mistaken, this has a little check valve in there. So make sure this is on right, not falling off. Grab some oil. There's some oil in here, so just grab that same oil. Put it around the O-ring to lube it up, because you don't want to damage that O-ring or pinch it whenever you put in the oil filter back in, because that's going to cause a leak and we don't want that. So put some oil in there. Grab your new oil filter. This doesn't have really a side. Just put it in there. And boom. It's perfect. Just put the oil filter back on there. Screw it on. Slowly, there's no rush. So just grab your ratchet. Make sure you're tightening. Just slowly but surely, get it in there. If you hear a little squeak, that's the O-ring that's going in there. So be careful you don't pinch that O-ring. You're gonna feel it bottom out in a bit. Whenever it bottoms out, that's perfect. You don't want to go too much. This is plastic, remember. So, and that's perfect right there. So now you just take that off and you're good to go with your oil filter. So now we're gonna go underneath the car. As you can see, there's no oil coming out, so that means that all the oil is completely drained out of the car. So grab your drain plug with your new crush washer, like I mentioned, and start screwing it back in there. With this, there is a certain amount that you have to torque it to. I don't have a torque wrench. I just tighten it to feel. You don't want to over tighten it. You don't want to have it loose. Just make sure it's tight enough. Perfect. So now once you put the drain plug in the car, you can go ahead and start it. Let's go. Ah, you're not gonna start it now because if you start it, you're gonna blow up your engine. Obviously, you gotta put oil in the engine first, dummy. So this engine usually takes about 6.5 to 7 quarts. 7 quarts if I'm not mistaken. So this right here, it's 5 quarts. So let's do 2 more quarts and then we're good. So to start off, I do 6.5 quarts. Usually it takes 7 quarts. So once you start with 6.5, you're gonna start the car, let it see the oil level, and just top it off afterwards. All right, so the next step is to install spacers. Now this is not part of the oil change, but we're gonna do them anyways. So let's get right to that. So once you put everything back together, just turn on the car, let it run for about 10 to 15 minutes. That way engine heats up a little bit, and then go on to your iDrive. Once you're on your iDrive, go to my vehicle status, and then go to engine oil level. So it's gonna let you measure your engine oil level. Actually, it's gonna let me right now. So let's. Oh, no, it's not gonna let me. It needs to warm up a little bit. So let it warm up. Once it warms up, you can measure it and just add on accordingly if you need more or whatever you need. So of course, it started raining right as we're about to go for a drive with the Porsche and the M2. Obviously, we're not gonna take out the Porsche on the rain because, once again, it's a Porsche. So he's staying inside. I'm going home. Basically, at this point, just gonna go chill.